find out what happened to my great-great-great-grandfather, George Bruce, because I know from the 1871 census he was in Hopeman then, and then 10 years later he wasn't.
Okay.
So I'm just wondering if either he died in between or he moved away. He was born in Rathven in Ban.
In Ban. Okay, I can look through the death records from 1871 onwards for a George Bruce. So from 1871, Bruce.
And he was 66 in 1871, I know that as well.
Okay, put that age in. This is 1871, so the chances are he's still
Yeah,
alive.
so that's not him.
It's quite quick to go through the years. There's a George Bruce, a fisherman. Pauper. Formerly a fisherman.
No, that's him.
That's him. And he died on the 30th of July 1876 at 11 o'clock in the morning at the poor house in Bucky.
Oh dear.
And this is the cause of death.
What's that say?
General cachexia. It's a type of malnutrition.
He just didn't have enough to eat all the right things to eat.
The right food to eat.
So that means effectively he starved to death? Or he just wasn't getting the right
getting
kind of food?
the proper food. Not getting enough of the proper food, probably.
How did he go from where he was to dying of malnutrition in a poorhouse? Poor bloke. That just seems so odd. Well, I never expected that my great-great-great-grandfather George would die a pauper, and certainly not he'd die of malnutrition or starvation. I mean, one or the other. I can't really understand how that happened, because there he was in Hopeman, you know, it's a little village, everyone knows everybody else, that would have been even more so back then. So what went wrong? You know, he had, you know, a number of children. Were they just too poor to help him, or had he fallen out with them, or what? You know, why did he die in such a just sort of desperate and lonely way? 1875.
Now that she's discovered that George died in the Bucky poorhouse, Fiona's come to the Moray Heritage Centre, where they keep records of everyone who applied for poor relief in the parish.
Hi there. I was just looking into my...
Having found a number of references to George Bruce on the database, Fiona can examine the original records.
These are the two volumes that you ordered. So we know from the... So, yeah, 106.
Oh, here he is. So 1106, 9th of November, 1872, 12:20 p.m. George Bruce is the applicant. Occupation fisherman. And let's see. This man is a pauper of Rathven, a drunken creature.
What's
They just said it like it was, didn't they? Didn't mince their words. A drunken creature. Well, it hadn't occurred to me, actually. There was me feeling very sorry for him. Well, I still feel sorry for him, but... He'd been on his way, he said, on foot from Hopeman, where his son resides, which I know, I found that out, to Bucky. And as he really was, or feigned to be, crippled with rheumatisms, relief was given.
Oh, that's interesting, isn't it?
So relief of a shilling was given in case intimated to Rathven.
Yeah.
I love that, a drunken creature. Oh, how exciting. Right, what next?
Right, this we're now checking back to Rathven. What page did it say?
Page 310.
310.
Oh, I can see here, it says here, George Bruce, Hopeman. A letter was submitted from this pauper's son,
Yeah.
pleading
Inability to pay.
inability to pay for the advances made to his father, who has an allowance of 1 shilling. So, well, it's like a detective story, isn't it? But so they wanted his son to rather than them having to pay the poor relief, they wanted the sons to pay. And the son is saying that he can't pay. Why? We don't know. Maybe he didn't have enough money.
Yes.
Or maybe he thought his dad was a drunken creature and wasn't
Why
interested.
should
I
I
mean, who
pay
knows,
for
you
it?
know.
Yes.
But then a year later he was dead from malnutrition.
Gosh.
I mean, I haven't been back here since I was a child, and two things have struck me: how picturesque it is, and just how tough it must have been to make a living here. Think about my grandfather, my great-grandfather, my great-great-grandfather, all trying to make their living out at sea in all weathers. You know, very dangerous way to earn your living. And then Isabella, who was left with 8 children. I mean, what a strong woman she must have been. She must have been redoubtable. I'd like to have known her. She must have been really something. When I started this programme, you know, I'd never felt really that my ancestors would have much bearing on the kind of character that I am. The one thing I have learned, back across the lines with the Bruces, the Crouches, everyone had to strive. Everyone had to rely on themselves and make the best of what they could for themselves. So I don't know if that is what has made me what I am, but there's a bit of that in everyone that I've come across. Well, my dad left here when he was a child, and like his mother, he had to leave school early and make his own way in the world, and my God, he did. And you think about the leap that has been made from when the Bruces were in 5 New Street to where we are now. It's just incredible, and that's just in 2 generations. I feel hugely proud of my father, actually. I feel incredibly proud of my dad. And when I come back here and I see what he started from and what the rest of them started from, it's a really amazing thing.